Welcome back. It has been a very tough, some say disastrous week for the America's 45th president. Most critically, Donald Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, pleaded guilty to federal charges of tax fraud, lying to financial institutions, and making illegal campaign contributions in connection to hush money paid to both a porn star and a Playboy playmate alleging affairs with the Republican nominee. Mr. Trump's longtime fixer says he did it all at the direction of his boss, the future president. It appears there will likely be more damage to come. Mr. Cohen's lawyer says his client has additional evidence likely to be of extreme interest to the special prosecutor. Specifically, that then candidate Trump had direct knowledge of Russian efforts to impact the 2016 election. Cohen is also saying he would not accept a presidential pardon if it were offered.
The president has done nothing wrong. Just because Michael Cohen made a plea deal doesn't mean that implicates the president.
Friday, we learned Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg has been granted immunity from prosecution. Panel, is this a turning point, Nyanza?
In Jesus' name, let the church say amen. Okay, I'm not wearing black for any other reason than the death of the GOP. Here it is. We have seen all of the president's men fall. When your lawyer, who is your fixer, flips on you, that's a problem. But when your CFO, who represented your father and his business dealings, and then he's now representing you, flips, you know, and then you have the press secretary saying has nothing to do with the president. It has everything to do with the president. Because at the end of the day, if your money man and your lawyer decide to tell the truth, when Trump said about a year ago, people don't need immunity if they haven't committed any crimes. The biggest crime is the financial crime. That's what brought Gotti down. That's what's going to bring Al Capone down. That's what's going to bring Donald Trump down. And I really, really hope for every deal that is struck that, you know, we may not have any relief with Jeff Sessions, even though he's on the backside of Trump right now, but we do know that we can count on the Southern District of New York, the state prosecutors, to go ahead and bring this home. Forget the feds. It's all about the state.
Bob, is Nyanza jumping the gun?
Well, first off, the Southern District of New York is a federal court. It's not.
Well, you know, you can do semantics all you want to. They're all going to prison.
Well, okay.
Just call it prison is prison.
Legal scholars on both ends of the spectrum, Alan Dershowitz and Mark Levin, have both said that the payments were not a crime. Those have to do with an activity that occurred before the campaign, and therefore the payments that were made there are not campaign finance related crimes. So you can't tie the president into a crime that didn't happen. The fact that he pleaded guilty to the crime has nothing to do with whether he committed the crime or not. It has to do with he was making a deal to make sure that he didn't spend the rest of his life in prison. The man is a liar. He either lied to the people a year ago in all of his statements, or he's lying to the prosecutors now to get a sweet deal. That he has no credibility as a witness.
Can I just one rebuttal? Just really quickly. I'm not talking about campaign issues. I'm discussing his entire finances.
Those are his personal
When your
finances.
CFO is arrested, when your CFO makes an immunity deal, then he's trying to get the Russia money. I'm more concerned about Russia than I am the campaign.
Okay, hold on. Let Tomaro jump in here.
There still is
Prison is prison.
Look, is the president in trouble?
Right now, I'm not finna lie to you. I still feel that he is Teflon Don. I do believe that the deeper they dig, the more that's gonna come out. Because in one instance, what Bob said about if they paid the hoes, I mean, whatever they were, whatever, his personal go-to desserts of the month, flavor of the month rather, if they paid them, that's not a crime. But if they paid them out of their campain,
It's a crime.
it's a crime. That's number one. Let's get that clear.
Look. You
don't
know how they
You don't know how they. Wait a minute. We ain't even seen his taxes. We don't even know where the money came from. Wait a minute. Secondly, okay, when I'm an accountant, who brought down Capone? His accountant. Who brought down God? His accountant. When they start looking into your books, he know what came through a wire from Russia before Trump knew. Trump was calling him, is the wire there? Is the wire there? I promise you, there is way more to this. And I'm telling you, irrelevant to what they talk about the Russia probe, anybody, any president in the history of this country, they've shown their taxes. It is about where the money lies and watch the money trail.
Thank you.
Oh, wait a second. Jessica, I was with Vice President Pence and the press corps. We were talking. Are we looking at the next president of the United States?
For the last 30 minutes of the term?
Do you think we're jumping the gun talking about the president being in big trouble?
Yes.
Okay. Explain why.
So,
Yeah, please.
so, we leave it to my Democrat friends on the panel
Your
to
esteemed colleagues.
immediately go to Russia on this. There, still has been no proven Russian collusion, which is where all these investigations have begun. And where all these investigations over this extended period of time, now since 2016, since it's been on the campaign trail, there has been no proof that this has happened. The bottom line here is that they can keep digging, and there may be other things that come out, and just because someone's granted immunity, it's because they don't want to have
A crime?
the blame placed
Conviction?
on them. So they have the freedom to speak and say what they will. We'll see what comes out, but right now, there's no issue with
Cohen's attorney has suggested
Jessica.
that his client has proof that the president had prior knowledge before the DNC hack. I mean, that could be interesting to Mueller.
This is just what we're hearing right now. There is some room with stacks and stacks of paper and evidence. They've got computers, phones that they're going through. And folks, I get it. We're used to thinking, well, hey, these are like vague issues. The money's dirty or not? And I want people as they go to the polls to remember, birds of a feather flock together. This is a corrupt Republican Party with a corrupt president.
I got to get Bill King in here just quickly, though.
So, impeachment, what qualifies for impeachment is decided by Congress. It's high crimes and misdemeanor treason. Congress defines those, not a prosecutor, not the courts. And so a lot of this depends on what happens in the congressional elections this time. If you get a Democratic House, I could easily see them bringing articles of impeachment. They've then got to be tried in the Senate, where it seems unlikely he would be convicted. So my guess is this is a political stalemate. But this was a bad week, and it looks like it's going to get worse.
Thanks.